Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Let's Chat About Death. This is your host, Chris, and I'm going to be taking you through this episode today. Hope wherever you are in a comfortable position, or you might be out and about or driving around or maybe doing some sport, whatever it is for you. This one's actually going to pull at your heartstrings a bit, so be prepared for it. Today we're going to be talking about coping with a loss. Now, that can be losing a loved one or a pet or, whatever it is for you. So today, it will be that deeply emotional topic. You know, some people will probably get upset with it and some people will just take it on. And whatever way that is for you, then that's entirely normal. Okay, so don't feel bad about it. But we're going to be digging into the pain and grief associated with losing a loved one or even a pet. You know, coping with a loss is something that we do universally as humans. But it's also something that can be also incredibly challenging. You know, it pushes every single button that we have. And some of us even have to find that part in our body that controls all of that, because it's different. It's different than hurting yourself or, you have an argument or whatever. You just go, yeah, okay, I can deal with that. But losing someone or a very beloved pet can cause so much more grief. So we're going to explore a little bit about the deaths, or the depths, I should say. Well, and the deaths, because that's what we're here to do. We're going to provide a little bit of guidance on navigating through this pain. Now, I know this is totally different to some of the episodes that we've done before, but there's a reason why I'm bringing this up today. So there is one thing that cuts so deep, and that is the loss of anything that we have loved so much. And I'm sure there's people out there that would agree with me. Yesterday, we lost a feathered friend, and her name was Polly. And she was a beautiful cockatiel, and she had such character and loved to have a chat. If we were there and we were talking to her, she'd, she'd have a bit of a chat. She had 2 husbands previous to Stanley that we currently have. And it was amazing that once those husbands had passed away, that she was, I don't know, a little bit of a different side of her came out on a good side. You know, I don't know if the guys had sort of controlled her or what it was, but she did like a lot of attention, but it's the simple things that we take for granted every day that will forever be with us. And what I mean by that is that our whole family was rocked by her passing, and we know it's going to take some time to recover. I can say this for the first time in my life that I had lost something that I got to personally dig a grave and cover over. Even with humans, family that have gone, they've all been cremation. Other budgies and things that we've had, we've loved them, but they're more of a mass bird, more of a flock. And you do. Some of them have personalities, and you probably, you get a little bit upset, and then you dispose of them in whatever way you feel fit. But Polly has been with us probably for the last 7 to 8 years. maybe a little bit less than that. And even though you're not out there every day and you're dealing with them, but it's still, you can hear them. And I think that's what that brings the comfort. So this is the first time in my life that I got to be a part of a family burial. Does that make sense? And I actually felt, I don't know what I felt actually, to be honest, because I don't know how people can watch a human burial and know that there's going to be soil and everything placed on top of them. I just how I feel at the moment. And I know it's a bird, but birds are still loved. And yeah, it's depending on how you feel. Some people don't even like birds. So it's probably like, oh, good riddance. But yeah, for me to physically dig the grave with a little hole for her, and then my son Thomas, he took the spade off me, and he, you know, placed the first shovel load of dirt onto her, and we had a bit of a cry, and then I helped sort of clean up the section, and then we got to place some white rocks, and Rihanna and that did another rock, like a headstone, and wrote her name on it. Now, where we are currently isn't, it's a rental, and I know that if we have to leave, that she'll remain there. And getting a bit upset, just sorry, guys, having to leave her there. But, Thomas looked after those birds, Polly and Stanley, every day and every night. That was his thing. Not that he didn't love the others, but that tended to be Rihanna's job. And so that hit him really hard. And I think watching him and the kids yesterday go from smiley faces to not so smiley faces, and I guess it was that shock, that gut feeling that something has gone, and you'll never get to touch them or play with them again, or so it was certainly an experience. And I do remember as a child, though, that we had our family dog Penny, and she was a King Charles Cavalier. Oh my God, was she such a human? You could sorry for the sniff there. But she was such a human. Like, she would ride in the mini moke that we had because we lived on an island, and she'd chase the crabs down the beach. She'd eat anything that we ate. She'd sit up there watching TV. Now, I'm not saying, just fell asleep. No, she would be watching TV. Then obviously she would sleep with us. She'd do all of that. But I knew at one time that she, as dogs and animals get older, you start to see a little bit of a decline. And even though she was quite active and running around, and we used to take her down the beach every day, you could sense that it was starting to affect her. And for those that have got or had King Charles Cavaliers, they do suffer a little bit, and it's normally the heart. I remember Mum said, "Look, I'm going to take it to the vet. I'm going to get it all sorted, and get her looked after and everything else like that." And we went off to school, and we came back. We walked home, which wasn't far, and Mum saying, "Well, Penny's no longer," in a nicer way, and it was. I don't know if it was a good thing that we didn't know that she was going to be put down, or if if it was better to remember her to how she was and move forward from that. And I don't know. I think it was the sense that I didn't get to say goodbye. That, and even today, it still wells me up in my eyes of that, that feeling. So I don't know. I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing. And I guess each and every one of you out there have your feelings towards it. I've never had to be in a vet and see them administer the drug and see your pet just go from you. I don't know if I could do that. And like I said, I know this is a very solemn podcast, but you know what? You're my listeners, and I need you to be aware of this, that I am human, and we are human, and we need to start to, I guess, reconnect with our universe a little bit more and start loving things a little bit more and not taking things for granted. And I know everyone says this when something tragically happens, and we get to say it every day, and meaningful though, not just like, oh yeah, you'll get over it, but taking it on and really, really pushing it, and I know little Stanley, he's not feeling. Should have seen him last night. He was so scared, and this morning he sort of, I don't know, he was a bit angry, but he says, "Where is my partner?" And so today, if I can get another, I will, just for company. And I know he's got the budgies beside him, but it's not the same as the same bird. So, but we know when someone does pass away or an animal has been taken away from us, it does. I don't know about you, but it takes a while for you to really grasp what's physically happened. Like, such and such has passed away, or we have to put the animal down or whatever, and you got that blank look on your face, like, okay, yep, somewhere along here, like your head's just moving around, like somewhere along here, I meant to give some form of response, but your brain is going and your body's going into like, oh my god, this information has just been relayed to me. How do I cope with this? What's the process? What do I now cry? Do I break down? Like what is the steps? And I don't know. I guess it's first. It's the state of shock. Then the emotion then kicks in for most of us. So if people didn't get emotional at that time, well, then that's okay too. Because you may have known for some time that your loved one or your animal was going to pass, and you've done your grieving a little bit earlier than something that just happens overnight, or you only got a couple of days' notice, and you try to be as strong as you possibly can for everyone. And I'm a believer. Look, I'm an emotional person, and I find it very hard to keep things inner, and that's why I wanted to do this podcast today, because it is very raw, and So I know it's different. It's like I'm apologizing so many times during this podcast, but you get it. You get it. So it's okay. It's okay that you don't grieve at a certain time, and maybe in a few days or a week or even a month down the track that you start to then feel the loss of, having them around, or making a phone call, or going over on a Sunday night for dinner, or, taking them for a walk, or whatever that thing was for you, or that good morning, or that whatever. Um, because people go on holidays, people do that, a couple of weeks, you just go, yeah, that's okay. They're going to come back. But unfortunately, we've never had anyone come back. And will it happen? I don't know. But I just hope there is that space that everyone tends to talk about. And we do get to see our loved ones and our animals and all that have gone before us. So I guess grief is a very complex and a very unique experience for each of us, because it's triggered by a death. Well, grief is triggered by multiple things, but the thing we're talking about today is death. So, there's a couple of stages, and it could be like denial or anger. You could go into a depressive state, or even just the acceptance of that. But as we know, as humans, we do form that strong bond with our loved ones and our pets. And when we lose them, it's like losing a piece of ourselves. We share a lot of personal things with them. We share a lot of beautiful moments that are so powerful. You wouldn't be able to, regenerate them to do it again. And any animal or people that you meet along the way they'll never be able to fill the shoes or paws or talons as what our loved ones and pets have gone before us. So we have to remember that, and I say it all the time, we have to remember that it's just their earth body that's gone, and their soul lives on. And it's probably become a little bit more to me in recent times that as humans, we grieve a lot, and, I'm never going to see him again, and I'm never going to feel him again. But when you really think about it, like I do, all we're doing is saying goodbye to that earth body. That soul will live forever, and that soul will be around us forever and play with us and just be a part of us. And that's got to give you some form of solace too, or a warm feeling, because that's very important. And I think to appreciate grief and the process that we have to go through, I think knowing that, it's the same with cremation. And I'll just bring that up because, when I first started, it's like, yeah, cremation. But when something happens to your loved one, and for example, me being a funeral director and then having my mum pass and my grandma pass and all that type of stuff, you start to think, no, I don't want that. I don't want that for my mum. I don't want her to be cremated. But then it took a very wise person to say to me, fire is purifying. And, the ailment that mum had was bad, and we got rid of that rather than burying her, which she wouldn't have wanted anyway. But and that's so beautiful just thinking of that. So we know that the loss of anyone or anything is that it's that journey, and people go, oh, how long is it going to take? Well, how long is a piece of string? But there is strategies and resources available, that can help us navigate the pain. And for those that are suffering, there is help out there for you. There is counselling services that you can go to. So I recommend that if you are coping okay, then that's fine. But don't feel bad if you have to go and seek professional help. And there's also social groups, etc. But the other thing is coming out with some creative ideas. Like you might want to start drawing or writing what you're like a journal, how you feel about things. You might want to play some beautiful music that was unique to her or him or to you. Maybe do some meditation, maybe do some Reiki. I don't know. Just something for you. That self-care is very important. And you'll be surprised of how good the healing power is when you start to express your feelings. The other thing is remembering our loved ones or pets as an essential part. And how do we honor their memory? You know, do we talk about them often? Do we or do we just box them up and put them away and they don't exist? We're not going to talk about them because it upsets me. No, I think it's important that you do talk about them, because if not, their memory won't live on. And that's important that you do share as much as you can. But grief can also be very isolating. A lot of people tend to sort of stand back and go, oh, you know, I knew that you suffered and I just didn't want to get in your way. And although it's painful, sometimes the opportunity for connection with someone is very vital. And I guess with funerals, everyone's there at the time, and then as soon as you go and the funeral's over, then they all disappear. Not saying all, but, you know, some will disappear. But the classic is, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to you. Well, you don't need to say anything. You just need to be there. You need to be there for each other and support each other. Just sit, have a drink, have something to eat, whatever it is. Go to the beach, go to the mountains, go for a drive. I don't know. So it's being there for people, and there's going to be ups and downs. People are going to be going, oh, well, what's wrong with you? Oh, well, you know, I lost my pet or whatever. Oh, it's a pet. Man, come on. You know? And, you know, we've had like, oh, birds. Oh, I don't like birds. Oh, you know, like, and they don't understand, oh, a dead bird's a good bird, you know? It's like, no, come on. It's like if they had fish and they loved fish and something happened to the fish and then we said that to them. That's not right. You don't do that. Unless they know that you're really joking and, you know, like, but it's not probably the time to do it. You know, having a think about it, the grief is a very universal experience and we all go through it. Be it if you think you have already or you haven't. Grief has so many different elements to it. And, but it is going to be a very emotional journey for all. And as you go forward, there will be pain. I didn't truly understand. And like I said, well, we've had a couple of budgies that have gone and, you know, that have been very, very chirpy and, you know, out there as characters, and some just follow. And, you know, and you do get upset because I don't like anything passing away. And same with family. You know, even to the day, you know, even just thinking about, you know, Penny, our dog, and then, you know, obviously Polly, our cockatiel, and my mum and my grandmother and all of that. You know, they're it brings back that, you know, and you just want them to look after your animals or those others that have gone. You know, lend that hand when they go to that forever stay. So I hope that you do support people, be it if you know them or you don't. You just lend a hand and know that there is that community of people that can be there for you. And like I said, reach out to a professional or a trusted friend if you are suffering a lot and you feel as though that you can't. this is the other thing with the human species. We all go, nah, it'll be all right. I don't need to see anyone. But, sometimes it might be just 1 or 2 sessions just for you to clear your head. And if your friends and family, you feel as though that they can't communicate with you about it, or you don't want them to know about how you truly feel, well, then seek it. Seek that help. So I hope you found this episode quite useful because for me, it's part of my coping strategies too, is to be able to share my experience and my emotion to everyone. And here I go again. But I do apologize that I did get quite teary earlier. But, just talking to you now and going through what I've just said sort of reiterates what we should be doing. And I'd love to know, what your experiences are. And you can reach out to us via our TikTok account, Let's Chat About Death, or our Facebook, Bremba Family Funerals. Love to hear from you. And for those that have lost a pet recently or have in the past, or a loved one, our condolences are to you, and don't ever feel as though that, be it if the item is very small, doesn't mean that they haven't had a huge impact on your life. And that's what you need to take away from here and in our life moving forward. So I want to thank you all again for sharing with me this process, and I wish you well in today and into the future, and no doubt you will be listening to me again. Enjoy the rest of your day or night or wherever you are. And until we chat again about some random topic or something that you might be really interested in. And away we go. Yeah, we'll go now, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.